Welcome into Real Sports Talk, home of the realest sports talk. I'm your host, Run It Up Ru, and today we talking Dallas Cowboys training camp, baby. Everything you need to know, all the news and notes, what's going on out in Oxnard. We had to catch the injury bug, right? We going over it all right after this. Let's get it. Yeah, so Dallas Cowboys out there in Oxnard got the pads on. It's looking physical. It's looking physical. Brian Schottenheimer is saying and doing all the right things, moving at a fast tempo, high energy. And I love you can see that he is a player's coach. You can see that in him. But more importantly, he's holding guys accountable. Brian Schottenheimer is holding guys accountable. He got them out there running suicides. One thing you're not going to do is put hands on another player out there. If it would cost us yards on the field during the game, he's not tolerating it in practice, right? And I love to hear that. So I just want to jump straight out the gate with it and throw flowers at Brian Schottenheimer thus far. So far, so good, right? We haven't played any real football, any meaningful football. So, I do say that with a grain of salt, but like I said, so far so good. I am impressed with what I'm seeing. Um, it'd be nice though if we had Micah in the building. I know he's a stand-in right now. I know he's a stand-in, well, a holding, as he awaits his new contract. But then you have Jerry and you have you have Jerry and you have Stephen Jones making comments as they usually do. I mean, if you think about it, anytime Dallas Cowboys goes into contract negotiations with one of their players, especially their key players, it's really only their key star players. They never make offhanded remarks or sly comments about our rotational guys when it's time. Either they're going to take what we offer or we allow them to walk. But when it comes to guys that Jerry and Steven know the fan base, the team needs these individuals, they always seem to, open their mouths in crazy ways. You have Stephen Jones saying Micah, he needs and he has to want to get paid, and Jerry just always with his sly remarks. That's usual per usual. I'm not sure if anybody pays attention to what Jerry Jones says anymore, but yeah, so it's just like part of the course so far for Dallas Cowboys when it comes to these contracts. We They like to do business in the media. I haven't seen one case as to where, negotiating through the media has worked in their favor, nor have I seen, taking their sweet old time on these contracts ever work in their favor financially. They love to talk about the cap. They love to talk about finance and, Dak's money and the limitations that the rest of the team has now because of that. Mike has been saying for over a year that he was ready to get paid. Mike was ready to talk about a contract last season. Mike was ready to talk contract last season. You didn't have to wait for TJ Watt, Miles Garrett. You didn't have to wait for these guys to get paid, but you chose to wait. Instead of being first to the market, you always want to set the market. And it's never like you say it. It's not like you do it purposefully. It's not. It's like you really believe in your mind you're negotiating. And I don't believe Micah for one bit is he's not Dak Prescott. He's a team first guy, but he's also going to speak his mind. Dak is a professional to his core. And as we seen last year when it came to Dak and his money, I mean, he didn't get paid till opening day, right? Now, whether they had that contract figured out days before or whatnot, but he didn't sign until opening day, and he remained a constant professional throughout the whole process. No matter the sly remarks handed down by the Joneses through the media, Dak, and at towards the end, you did see Dak starting to get a little frustrated and annoyed with it all. And he ultimately started to say that you don't see too many top tier quarterbacks finishing with the teams that they built their career off. And it's true. You do see a lot of veteran guys go elsewhere just to continue to play the game that they love. But even anybody listening to Dak's comments in the moment knew that that was really just, to let the Joneses know, like, hey, I'm gonna be good. Every time you franchise tagged me, you paid me top of the market, and I'm sure he's good with his money. You're not talking to somebody who needs his money. And you can say the same when it comes to Micah Parsons. Through endorsement deals, brand deals, hell, if you let him walk, franchise tag him until you can't do it no more, and then you ultimately let him walk, or you seek a trade, you should get top of the market. And guess what? Wherever his feet land, he's gonna get paid there too. So he's not missing a dollar. And yeah, right now they're trying to, use the underhand comments about the agents and stuff like that. Also, maybe holding up these deals, and then Stephen Jones saying, well, they feel like, the agents work for the players, which of course they do. They're looking out for their best interest. And no way, shape, or form in a contract negotiation am I supposed to feel like the party that I'm negotiating with is ultimately having my best interest at heart. This is a business, right? And too many times in these contract negotiations, you see Jerry trying to talk to the players by themselves, catch them in the building, talk to them on the phone, bring them on his yacht, trying to wine and dine them and talk these guys into negotiation and factors to the contracts that they don't feel like, or Jerry or Steven may not feel like, talking to the agent, basically what, trying to not beat around the bush and get straight to it. But nevertheless, the Joneses, they always find a way to put their foot in their mouths. And, here's Micah's comments, ultimately, how he feels about the whole situation he made the other day.
It's my turn to lead this defense, and I plan on taking full advantage of that. Now, I'm the best at what I do. I mean, you can argue whoever, but stats, numbers don't lie. The consistency's there, and the availability's there.
He isn't frustrated that it.
I love the fact that, and I know it's in the parameters within the contract when you sign with the Dallas Cowboys, especially re-upping with the Dallas Cowboys, is that they're seeking leadership. But just on a personal level, I do see more maturity coming from Micah Parsons this season now. Well, at least from, in the media while he's been going through these negotiations and stuff like that. Now that may be ultimately because, he don't want to put his own foot in his own mouth while he's seeking a new contract. But, I leadership is something that I was looking for Micah even last year, understanding, he's still relatively young in the game. And to be quite honest, I'm not sure if he walked into a building, a locker room that had too many outstanding vocal leaders. A lot of guys who show and lead. Not too many guys in that locker room that I feel like are vocal leaders that Micah walked in and could respect and watch and follow and see how to be a constant professional. Now Dak, yes, but Dak isn't vocal. He's a constant professional, but he's not really vocal. I don't know the man. I haven't been in the locker room with the guy, so I can't really speak on that as as that being what it actually is. But how it comes off to me, it's a kind of watch me and I'll never steer you wrong, lead you wrong kind of situation. However the case may be, I do love to hear leadership coming out of his mouth because he is one of those guys that I feel like the players in that locker room gravitate to. He has a great personality, and I hope he does take that leadership by the horns and runs with it um, from this season and going forward because we need it. We need vocal leaders in that locker room, guys who are constant professionals, who's doing the right thing all the time and saying the right things because that rubs off onto the next guy. So I love that about Micah. What I'm seeing so far.
Deal hasn't been reached yet. The All-Pro pass rusher rather describing it as discouraging.
You go around the league and you see these other teams taking care of their best guys. I see TJ got taken care of. You see a lot of people around the league getting taken care of. You just wish you had something that same type of energy.
Even though he
Yep. And I just think that he's right. Having that same kind of energy. I would just love if Jerry in these last final years that we have with him, what I'm saying, really just do things differently. I think that he's listening to Will McClay more. I love the fact that he's allowed Shoddy to come in, pick his own staff, and kind of let go of things that way. So I do see progress within the man and his firm grip on this damn organization. But the contracts still remain. I would love money in the bank and still have my players paid what they deserve when they deserve it. Um, and I do believe that it is on the front office to get ahead of some of these deals. And, you know, the only deals that I see them get ahead of are guys who are injured. Diggs gets paid. That was fast. Why? And he got good money, right? But did he leave a couple dollars on the table? I think he did. I think he did. And why was that? He was negotiating while injured. Terrence Steele, another one, got paid. Um, uh, he wasn't hurt. I take that back. He got paid before he got hurt. Um, he just started to suck after he got paid. So I'll take that back. They got ahead of Terrence Steele, which I believed was smart. And even though he's a starter, I don't think he's not a premier player on this team, right? He's not setting the market with a new contract, right? So I'm talking about tone setters, guys who are setting the market setters. Um, so yeah, I don't see them getting ahead of too many guys like that. So it is unfortunate that somebody of Micah's caliber, as young as he is, as much as he's done for this team during the regular season, I would love for him to do more in the postseason. But it's a team game, and it wasn't just him who didn't show up in those games. But I love to hear it from Micah. I really do. Now, here's Stephen A. Smith ripping the Joneses for the things that they said about Micah. I loved it. Everything else they said that day on First Take was absolutely nonsense when it came to the Dallas Cowboys. But they opened the show uh, uh, talking facts, and I want to show that to you guys right here.
I don't know what's wrong um, with the Jones family right now. We've seen Jerry Jones say some crazy things last season. But what Stephen Jones said about Micah Parsons in terms of he has to want to get paid, I think that's an egregious statement. What does 52.5 sacks equate to over your first 4 years? What does 112 quarterback hits equate to over your first 4 years? What does your perennial Pro Bowl status equate to over 4 years? I mean, having at least 12 sacks over the last 4 seasons. The only person that has been in that realm, you guys know this better than me, CC and Mike T, is the late, great Reggie White. That's it. That's the only person that has that distinction. Micah Parsons is elite. The brother is big time. He's special, and he's young, approaching the prime of his career, some would argue, as opposed to already having been there. That's not the case. This brother is rising and rising and rising. And so when you look at that distinction right there, as you put up on the screen, with a Miles Jarrett, with a TJ Watt, and then you think about what Micah Parsons brings to the table. Once again, this is the Achilles heel that serves to be to the extreme detriment of a Jerry Jones. And here it is. It's the Cowboys. And because the brand is so big, that disgusting, nauseating fan base that gets on my last damn nerves because you can't escape them like they're a new.
First of all, I really hate when he starts talking about the fan base. I know he's just trying to get ratings and all that stuff, but we have the greatest fan base in the NFL. I mean, bar none. We have the greatest fan base. Shouts out to all the nation. And F Stephen A. Jones Smith. But let's let the brother continue.
Nuclear bomb drop, 3 things would exist. It would survive rats, roaches, and a Cowboy fan. Those people, you understand? Because you know you have that fan base that will never dissipate. No matter where you go throughout this country, the bottom line is because of that, you get to take him for granted. You get to take everybody for granted. You can play games and procrastinate and compromise your own cap situation, which you can speak to, Mike T. The fact is, Jerry Jones has been victim to that. And I say victim because it's 30 years now. 30. Where you have not won a Super Bowl. You haven't made it.
I just need to touch on that real quick. Any other front office could not move the way the Dallas Cowboys move. Could not move the way the Dallas Cowboys move. They never have to worry about being fired. They could do anything. Hell, they could let Micah Parsons walk today for free. Be a free agent. Cut him. Not make the 53-man roster. Send him home, pay him his money. What would happen to him? What would happen to Steven? Jerry? Nothing, right? Nothing. Nothing will happen to him. So you got to remember that when they start talking about these contracts and, Steven saying he doesn't feel like they're dragging out the contracts on 105.3 The Fan in his interview there. He said he didn't believe that he drug out they don't drag out any contracts. I think the whole nation would disagree with that. But I'm gonna let Stephen A. Smith cook because y'all watch.
To a Super Bowl. In fact, you haven't made it to an NFC championship game. You haven't made it beyond the divisional playoff round since I was in my 20s. Think about that. This is bad, y'all. This is bad. And now you got Micah Parsons here. And this brother is elite. It's big time. Jerry Jones needs to get his act together. But as egregious as his actions have been, it's nothing compared to what Stephen Jones said. That I respect Stephen Jones. I still owe him a drink for crying out loud. But that is one of the most ignorant statements I've ever heard come out of the mouth of an executive. He has to want to get paid. What is it about Micah Parsons that you have seen that has said he doesn't want to get paid? Missed 4 games last year due to a high ankle sprain. The brother shows up. Played 50 of the first 51 games of his career. The brother shows up, and he's big time. He not only deserves his paper, he deserves better respect than the owner and the co-owner and COO, that is Stephen Jones, is giving him. And by the way, Stephen Jones, respect to you, my brother. But if it wasn't for your daddy, would you be a CEO, a COO in the NFL? Would you be? Did you want the job? Did you earn it? Come on now. Let's go. Hey, I'm back. I'm back. It's the truth. It's the
You see, Mike didn't, and Mike Tannenbaum didn't, the one in the middle. He didn't want to touch that at all. He could, oh my God, Steven. When I heard that, I said, I gotta put that on this show. I gotta add that. That was facts. Facts. Somebody had to say it. If his daddy didn't own the team, would he even be in somebody's front office? Let's talk about it. Would he even be in the front office? And this is a guy we have running our organization, soon to take over the damn organization. Hand it to him. So you got to understand what we're working with. You have to understand that. When we talk in negotiations, when we talk about what's actually wrong with this team, what we need to do better leadership-wise, organizationally, understand who's driving the damn bus. They was just given the keys. They don't even have the proper licensing to drive it. I'm gonna let this finish real quick.
truth. I ain't knocking it. I ain't knocking it. You understand? I ain't knocking it. Every parent is entitled to look out for their child, but it's important that the child recognizes you were born on third base. Don't act like you hit a triple. And that's what needs to be said here. Stephen Jones don't have any right to be saying something like that.
Not at all.
Micah Parsons. Respectfully, sir, and I respect Stephen Jones, but that was crossing the line. You got no right to say that about him. None.
Wow. I'm going to leave that there. In other news, great news. Jake Ferguson extended 4 years, 52 mil, 30 mil guaranteed, 12 mil signing bonus. I believe he earned it. I'm expecting him to have a great season this year. Add Pickens to that offense. All of a sudden, that middle of the field, wherever he lines up, he's cooking now. He's cooking now. So I expect Jake Ferguson to have a great season. Probably one of the best seasons of his career so far. And shouts out to him. He deserved every bit of it. Now let's get to this injury front here. Unfortunately, Tyler Guyton, he reports to have suffered a torn ACL. Thankfully, this was avoided per MRI results, right? Instead, he's dealing with a bone fracture or a bone bruise, right? Now, he could miss 4 to 6 weeks. Hopefully with rest, the right proper rehab, he can come back faster than that. Hopefully he's in line to, be our starting left tackle week 1 against those dirty birds. Yeah, so it's unfortunate that he's injured, but it's definitely good news to hear that it wasn't torn, that it's intact. So shouts out to him, prayers up for him, hope for a speedy recovery. He's somebody that I think was going to take another step this year going forward. From all reports that I've heard from other YouTubers and sources straight from Cowboys, he's having a great training camp, or was having a great training camp. And so hopefully he can pick back up where he left off. Will he be ready for week 1? I'm not sure right now. Let's give it a week or two. Let's just kind of hear where he's at with it as far as the rehab goes. But fingers crossed, prayers up for Tyler Guyton. Now, who's the most likely candidate to replace him? That's a major question. I feel like uh, Hakeem Adeniji. He's from Garland, Texas. Came in to the NFL as a sixth-round pick from Cincinnati in 2020. His experiences includes active playing time with the Minnesota Vikings, Cleveland Browns as well, and he's shown real flashes throughout this training camp. But and it has to be noted that he's never played on the left side before. He's been primarily a right-sided player. Um, so I'm not sure. Now, my hope is that a Sim Richards can take that next step or another two steps forward and kind of earn his spot here until Tyler Guyton gets back as the left tackle. Um, Now he's going into his third season, and he's done some positive things with very in a very limited capacity. Um, but I'm hopeful for him. To me, looks like a young Tyron Smith. Just physically built. Um, I just think I'm not sure where he's at as far as I'm not really hearing about him, and that's I mean, you hear his name, but you don't hear his name. So it's like, I'm a little concerned, but at the same time, due to injury now, it is next man up. Will he win the battle? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But um the the thing about a sim is that he's a student of the game. From all reports that I've heard about him since he's came to the Dallas Cowboys, is that he's a hard worker, and playing for this team, playing in his league is something at a starter's position is something that he's looking forward to and working towards. So like I said, in my opinion, I would like to give him a shot. I think the preseason is going to be major for him, as far as just showing the team where he's at and what he's ready to take on. Um, this line, I don't think we're doing a whole bunch of swing positions, whereas I think the left side would be the left side players, and even as far as the backups, where they're either swinging through left tackle or guard. I think they'll swing. If you're a left-sided player, you'll swing between guard and tackle if need be, but you won't go to the right side. I think that's how this line's going to work. Um, but we'll see. So Sim Richards, he's in the running. Next would be our rookie here, Johnny Cornelius. Is a rookie looking to make his bones at camp. He's shown some aggressiveness at camp so far. I've seen him put a guy in the ground on tape. Not sure who the guy was, but nevertheless, it was definitely good to see. Hopefully, he can continue to make a push to make this 53-man roster. I believe he will. I do believe he will. Now, next, right here is Nate Thomas. I've been hearing great things about Nate. Um, Actually, I'm sorry. I got to take that back. On my notes, I had that backwards because I said Hakeem Adeniji doesn't play on the left side, and I have to take that back. He is a left tackle. What I meant to say is that this guy, Nathan Thomas, has never played on the left side. However, in practice, he has been doing a great job practicing on the left side, and I think he has the coach's eyes right now, from all reports that I'm hearing. But like I said, my hope is that Asim is ready to rise up and take hold of that position, because if Nate has never played on the left side, I don't want to go into week one against Philly with a newbie with limitations, not really knowing. And muscle memory plays a factor as well. When the heat and the action is really live, will muscle memory kick in, or what he's learning now, uh, 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 take over? So, and To me, I wouldn't make that. I wouldn't take that risk. I'm really hoping Tyler comes back and is ready for week one. But if not, I'm throwing the Simmons and Asim and going forward. But Nate Thomas, I can't lie to the people. From all reports I'm hearing, he is uh, looking really good. So those could possibly be the replacements for Tyler Guyton in the short term. Now to the defensive dilemma, the defensive back dilemma. Trayvon Diggs still recovering from his ACL that he tore last season. He's currently on the pup. Now he could be on track to get back sooner than reported, but I'm getting conflicting reports about it. I remain hopeful. However, he's not in the good graces of the Joneses currently right now. He was fined $500,000 for choosing a rehab elsewhere instead of the team facility. Now, it's in the contract. It is reported that he was made aware before being fined, and he still chose to rehab elsewhere. Um, Now, with that being said, I do think we have uh, a great facility. I think we have a good staff, a rehab staff, and stuff like that. If the man chose to take a $500,000 hit in order to rehab elsewhere, now I know reports have been out there that he hasn't been taking his rehab seriously, but it just cost him $500,000. So I'm not sure how he's not taking it seriously. He got about 500,000 reasons to take it seriously. So I'm expecting him to come back sooner than later. Will he be ready for week one? I don't know. Um Comfortably? I don't know. I think even that may be a little too fast for him, soon for him, but everybody's body is different. I just want him back. I just want him back. And when he got hurt, he was playing good. The game he got hurt, he was having a hell of a game. So I want Trey back. I want the noise to quiet down, and I want him to get back to playing the ball I know, the brand of ball that I know he's capable of playing. $500,000 ain't no small fee. My ass would have been in the building. I'm not in the business of giving money back. I'm not in the business of giving money back. Period. Here he is speaking on the matter. Take a listen.
Unfortunately, I had two back-to-back injuries, but I'm in a great space. Positive. I know when I get on the field what I'm going to do, so I'm not really worried about that. It's just all about getting back on the field, staying healthy, and once I'm healthy, I'm gonna perform.
His body is his body equity. He gotta feel like he gotta do his best for his body, and because at the
And this is right here to me, Micah standing in where he didn't have to. He didn't have to get on camera and have Diggs's back like that. And you listen to, I'll rewind it a couple of seconds. You listen to what he says in favor of Diggs. And I think that's a brand of leadership right there. Because too many times we get it twisted, the media gets it twisted. The Joneses, I believe, take unnecessary approaches when it comes to guys just trying to get paid their worth. You know, um, the market dictates salary. These players aren't going into your offices with numbers out of their ass. The market dictates, hey, if you compare me to this guy, I'm better than him. So no, my money should not look like his. And I just love that he's stand tall with his mans right here. Listen, let me go back a little bit.
because at the end of the day, if he's not available, what they gonna do? Get rid of him.
Yeah. What they gonna do? Let me go back a little bit because I feel like I ain't hear that.
He gotta feel like he gotta do his best for his body, And like all, because at the end of the day, if he's not available, what they gonna do? Get rid of him.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You know, you take the $500,000 hit because you want to rehab with the best. I'm not sure which facility he chose to rehab in or at, but I could only imagine that it wasn't for free. So in order to take a $500,000 hit on top of the expenses it costs to rehab wherever you rehab that, you can't tell me he's not taking it serious. You cannot tell me that. You know, so I just love the fact that Micah stood tall with his guy right here, because you know sometimes you do have to fight back against the Joneses, and this is another reason why I don't think they should be playing with Micah and his money. Not only do he feel comfortable to talk about, because this right here is on the field. Normally they have interviews in the facility where it's all set up at. They made it a point to get their words out and express how they feel right then and there. Right then and there. So I love the fact that Micah stood tall with his guy. I love that. And once again, I'm praying Mike get his money. I don't need to pray. He's going to get his money. And I do pray that Diggs comes back healthy and in great form. You know, shouts out to both of those men. You got to stand tall. When it's about your bread, you can't listen. You can't let nobody play with you in business or in life. You can't allow nobody to play in your face. And too many times the Joneses think they can get away with playing in your face. This ain't the 90s. I gotta tell you. Remember, he did Emmett the same way. I don't know if I'm going back too far for some of y'all, but he did Emmett the same way. Zeke, same way. Like, come on. Sometimes you got to punch back. Look, Zeke went to Cabo and got fat on him. Look, hey, the Joneses are something else. But, man, shouts out to these guys right here. Shouts out to these guys right here. Now, next on is Deron Bland. He's still nursing that foot injury, I believe. You know, will he be still a boundary? Will he slide back into the nickel? I'm not sure. But I know he'll be ready for week 1. Personally, people may not agree. I loved him in the slot. Oh, I loved him in the slot. I really, really believe that is his true position. I know he got busy on the outside. I know about the picks. You don't got to tell me. I know about the picks. But I believe his most natural position is inside. I really, really do. And Diggs come back, our 3rd round pick, Siobhan Ravel gets healthy, shows something. I would just love to see him slide back into nickel. I don't really want him outside. I mean, to me he did a good job. Not great. I think he's great at, you know, ball hawking ability, whether it's inside, outside. He has a knack for the ball, right? The fact what he was able to do, set the NFL record and all that on the outside is very, very much to speak of how talented this brother is and how his athleticism is just on a, you know, out this world. But schematically, I feel like he's at his best at the nickel. I could be wrong. I may not know what the hell I'm talking about, right? I'm not a film guy, but when I watch the Cowboys, I watch everything. And when I speak on something, I like to be correct. Could be wrong. But I believe his best position is slot cornerback. Let's move on. Mr. Ravel. Um, he's currently on the pup, still recovering from a college injury. I believe he tore his ACL the beginning of last football season for him. Um, However, I do believe that he'll be ready for week one. I've heard nothing of the sorts, but in my gut, I feel like he will be ready for week one. If not, he should be ready by week three. Um, I think it's more of just like easing him in than he's still in more than he's still injured and needs to rehab. I think it's more about, adding him in slowly and gradually. Uh, but however, with that said, I'm super excited that we got him. I think he's very talented. I haven't seen anything on an NFL level, but his college tape is amazing. His knack for the ball, his physical ability and willingness to come up to the line and make a tackle. You just look at the guy. He's big. He's tall, long arms. Yeah. So I'm just very much looking forward to a healthy defensive back room, because I think once it gets healthy, nobody's defensive back room will look like ours or can compete with it. Add that to that pass rush up front, and this defense is definitely top five this season. This season. Next is Kalen Carson. He hyperextended his knee in the first padded practice this training camp. He's possibly out 4 to 6 weeks. That's a major blow. Second year, didn't really have the kind of first year that we were expecting. Probably too much of high expectations. I still believe this guy has a high enough ceiling to not only play in this league, but play it at a high level. Um, but right now he's hurt, and it just adds more fuel to the fire in desperate need of replacement. Next up is Kyer Elam. He's emerging as a camp standout right now. Multiple picks in training camp. I believe he's even turned over the ball, forcing one out. This guy right here, I believe we got him from Miami. Wasn't expecting much when I heard that when it came across my ticker on my phone. It's not like I was jumping for joy. Everything I heard, is he was a decent to average player. But in camp this year, he's been doing his damn thing. I don't know if that's just because if you look around the competition he's going against or, competing with, the talent level isn't the same because guys are hurt. So I'll be paying attention to him in the preseason. I don't want to put too much stock into it without really seeing it on an NFL level, even if it's preseason. But Elam, he has been making some moves, some waves at training camp. Pay attention to the kid. So next, it's just like, who can we bring in to kind of help us right now? Because at cornerback, we're just really hurt, and last thing I want to do is go into this season with a blaring injury need, and had to have time to have addressed it and have them a little bit more caught up than by the time the season starts and they're still trying to catch up, right? You feel me? So, you know, that's just my opinion. Gilly, Asante Samuel Jr., Carlton Davis, and Shavarius Ward, they're all still available. All of these guys right now, from my knowledge, are all currently available. I would hope that Dallas is looking to bring one of these guys in for a cup of tea and not just try and bargain bin shop. Even if you feel like, hey, my true starters aren't that far away, I would still like to get a steady, um, reliable player, somebody who's been there, done it before. isn't really trying to learn themselves in the game, or isn't used to the workload. I'm not really looking for that. I know Dallas loves the bargain bin shop, but I'm not really looking forward to that at all. Um, let's just move on to this offensive line, because defensive backs can be a little depressing right now. Just not really sure where Dallas is going, as far as, are we still in the market. If you ask them, they probably say we're always looking, but are we really actively looking? Because I know we don't actively call. So are we actively looking? I'm not sure, but let's give it some time. Let's move on to this O line real quick. I just want to highlight this rookie real quick. Tyler Booker. He's basically a plug and play as it gets. From all reports, the mindset of the season is a seasoned vet already. He's running with the ones since OTAs. No more of that Mike McCarthy bullshit where pick him in the first round, still let him rep with the thirds all the way through camp or something like that. That's not this, right? Um, I don't know what happened to my little photo. Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on. But yeah, Tyler Booker is definitely one of those guys that you want to keep your head up for. I think this guy is. I'm not sure about Zach Martin, but I like this fit. Excuse me. Fresh off work, giving y'all this this video here. But Matt Eberflus, he was brought in to stop the run. Most importantly, he was brought in here to stop the run and get turnovers. Um, so far, so good. Players are buying into his scheme. They're attacking the ball in the player's hands, or even at the point of catch. Trying to break that triangle, I believe is what they're calling it. So it's great to hear that the people of these players are really buying into the coaching staff here. And like I said earlier in the show, it's just been high energy for these guys. So the biggest question, besides who's our starting DBs, is, can Matt Eberflus stop the run? Do we definitely need a one tech, or can we get by with the guys that we have in house? Maybe the um, seventh round draft pick, Toya, or is it Mozzie Smith going into his third season? Is he really finally able to put some things together and get some great looks at the QB? Any kind of pressure? Can he get off these blocks and stop the run? These are all questions that I have, but I will say that Matt Eberflus is like a linebacker facade. I'm expecting these linebackers to play a very big key into what this defense does this season. The additions of Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn, both physical downhill linebackers. They pair that with Maris Leofau and the resurrection of Overshown, hopefully at some point this season, making a return after back-to-back season-ending injuries. So I'm not really sure what we're going to get when he does come back, but something tells me this guy's a freak of nature and will pick up right where he left off. They'll be able to play free sideline to sideline and stop. If we're not able to stop the run completely, at least we won't have those huge chunk runs as much ran on us. So gotta forgive me. But here's Matt Eberflus working with the linebackers coach. I mean the linebackers real quick, and you'll be able to see them, attacking downhill in it. Oh, that's Jack Sanborn, Mira Slayer foul, DeMarvion Overshown. Oh, and we can't forget Damone Clark. we can't forget Damone Clark. He's been fighting his ass off to make this roster here. Got to remember, not sure if he has too many sponsors in the building anymore. Um, but he's definitely out there fighting for some love, and hopefully they'll be able to spread that towards his way when it gets time to start cutting that roster down to a 53 man. I believe. Yep. Here's the video. Eberflus coaching up those linebackers. Yeah, so that was just a quick little video right there, but you know, hopefully we can get a lot out of these guys. I'm a big fan of Eberflus and his linebacker jobs. It's just since he's his first stint here with Dallas. That was kind of his room right there, his bread and butter. So I'm expecting big things from out of these linebackers. Now, next I wanted to talk about is this rookie right here, Donovan Azaraku. From all reports, he's just tearing up camp. He's constantly in the backfield, showing good hand technique, fighting technique, quick off his step, extremely fast off the first step. Just it's a lot you can say about the guy in a very short time, so that's impressive. Here's some video proof to show it. He's definitely been having a good camp, and I'm expecting big things from him. Will we see him in the preseason? Not sure, but nevertheless, he's on the team. He's a Dallas Cowboys, and I'm happy we playing with him than playing against him. So next, we're going to talk about those running backs. Boy, Jadon Blue, he's been tearing it up, hearing some good things, making some highlight plays, just trying to stay consistent. Not sure. I don't think he put the ball on the ground one time so far. As far as fumbling, could be wrong, but I haven't heard anything about it. And in college, that was a major, major problem for the kid. A major problem for him. Now, there was reports of him being lazy, but from everything that I'm hearing from Dallas and people around him, that's not the case. He's a hard worker. He's trying to pick up this offense. There's nobody on the sidelines holding up, cards of little symbols and stuff like that to let you know what you're supposed to do. He's really in the playbook, just really trying to figure out where he's supposed to be, when he's supposed to be there, his protections, all kinds of stuff he's responsible for. But nothing from out of Dallas Cowboys says that Jadon Blue is lazy. Not at all. Let's watch some of these highlights from training camp of Jadon. He's been doing his thing. Basic catch. Very nice. It's even better right there. Yeah. So I know he's young. I'm not expecting too much out of him. I still think one of these veterans it will be the starter day one. Speaking of veteran, your guy right here, Javonte Williams. Um, he had a solid training so far. He can continue to show and prove that he's still got something in the tank. I think he will make this team for sure. But can't wait for the preseason. I think that's when we really gonna find out about these backs and who got the juice. Next is Miles Sanders. Can we have a resurrection of Miles Sanders? Can we get that early Philly Miles Sanders back? Don't know, but he's also having a good training camp. He's looking to separate himself from like Javante. Miles, he could win the starting job, although I'm not really sure. I think it is Williams to lose. But Miles, if he still has that same speed and vision, we could be talking about something there. I don't know. Intriguing, the littlest guy on the field. But he does have a sponsor in the building. He does have a sponsor in the building. His old head coach, Connor Riley, is now the offensive line coach in Dallas, working with the run game, and he knows Deuce. He knows Deuce's skill set, and if this line is you know what it's supposed to be in our minds this season, running the ball should be a lot easier, especially when the run game comes with a run scheme, something we have not known anything about in Dallas in previous seasons. So can Deuce make it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all this because I had some questions. I was thinking to myself. So let me ask myself this real quick. Which position group besides O-line needs to have a big year for Dallas to be successful? And I was thinking about this question besides O-line because I think that's low hanging fruit. We're gonna go as far as the O-line takes us, especially on offense. Um, I would have to say uh running back. And the reason why I'll say running backs is just because when it starts to get towards, playoff football and stuff like that, all the best teams really run the ball. So if we're able to get something out of this running back room, maybe something that we're not expecting, I think this offense could just take off. And so if that can happen, I'll be all for that. So to me, they're probably the biggest position group needed for Dallas to be this successful. And I understand you could say wide receiver, especially with the additions of Pickens and Ferg, what he'll be able to do now with the spacing, because you can't double Pickens, and you still got Sedarius Lamb over there on the other side. So we'll be seeing a lot of too high safety, and I think the wide receivers will be just fine. What I need to happen is this run game to take off. So for me, that would be the biggest position group that I need to have a great season for Dallas to be successful. So then I was like, yo, Rue, right? I'm like, let me run this back to you. Is cornerback a bigger need than one tech at defensive tackle? Is cornerback currently right now a bigger need than a one tech at defensive tackle? Um, and I'm gonna have to say no. And the reason why I say no is because yes, we're dealing with injuries, but all my guys are expected to be coming back soon, sooner than later. So if we can hold off, if we're able to get pass rush, if we're able to use our linebackers in blitzing and in coverage and disguise some things, and guys are able to step up at cornerback, the backups, I think we'll be just fine for a week or two, until we can get Diggs back, it's gonna be the ramp up period for Diggs might be a little longer than 2 weeks, and so is with uh Revel. Will he be ready soon enough? So I could go with defensive back, but I'm not. I think the biggest need right now, besides a true number one right now, ready to go running back, not somebody that we have, not because I don't think Javonte can do it. It's just like we have, well, it's the unknown. We don't know what we're getting with majority of that room, right? So I need to find that out. I need us to have a good run game. So for me, that's probably what I'll go with. Defensive tackle. We need a defensive tackle to stop this run game. We can allow the cornerbacks to come back in due time. But if we can get a fat boy, a hog stopper, just command that gap, I think the rest of that defensive line could just really, really take off. You know, all these edge rushes we have. Osa Digizua just got paid. All kinds of things. So yeah, that would be definitely what I would choose. I would go with defensive tackle over cornerback. Most definitely. And I got one more question. One more question. I think it's a good question. Would you rather George Pickens have over 1,000 yards receiving, or would I rather this running back room somebody to have over 1,000 yards? Going with running backs again. Not that I wouldn't love for Pickens to go over 1,000 yards. I think for this team, it it would be better off if our running back had over 1,000 yards, because we still have CD, still got Ferg, got Perkins, Pickens making some plays. We still got Jonathan Mingo. We got a whole bunch of wide receivers. I can't tell you how many running backs we got right now. I don't know what to expect from them. So give me that 1,000 yards as a running back out that running back room, and I know Dallas is going to have one hell of a season. I can promise you that we will have one hell of a season. And ultimately, let me just wrap it up here. I've been long winded. I'm at an hour. Let me just wrap it up here, right? The Dallas Cowboys will win the NFC East. The Dallas Cowboys will win the NFC East because Dak Prescott's still the best quarterback in this division. I said it. You heard it here first. Dallas Cowboys will win this division. Why? Because Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in this division. Is he the most winningest quarterback in this division? No, unfortunately, that is not him. But he still is the best quarterback in this division, a division that now has Russell Wilson in it. Is the best quarterback in the division. And I believe in four. I believe in his defense. I believe in his O-line. I believe in his head coach. I believe in his coaching staff. I believe in the philosophy that we're going to attack in this season with. I believe in the veracity that we're attacking the season with. I believe in the competition. I believe in the attention to detail that we're showing. So only if we can get Micah Parsons back, paid, on the field. Do I want to see the team take the field, the first team take the field during the preseason? You're damn right. I want to see Ford take some drop back. get hit once or twice. You're damn right I want to see what this offensive line look like at left tackle. You're damn right I want to see what these cornerbacks is going to look like if they're going to start for us for week 1. You're damn right I'm curious to see if Maris Learfowl takes another step. You're damn right I want to see if Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn are truly the additions to this defense that I think they're going to be. You're damn right. I believe. That's all, folks. That's it for me. It's been my pleasure. Thank you for watching my podcast. Once again, I'm on the hunt for 1,000 subscribers. So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And peace.